So this one is to identify the elements, the different elements in the introduction paragraph, which again, normally when you write introductions for essay, especially for essay, the introduction should compose of book, background information, and the last one would be thesis. And for the thesis statement, there are two types of thesis statements. So let's say like two choice for you to choose, whether it's going to be direct thesis statement, which is the topic and the list of all main ideas, or indirect one, which is the topic, stating the topic and controlling ideas. Either are great. The choice is yours. Either direct or indirect thesis statement, both are great. But if you want to go with the simple ones, normally a lot of people, if they want to stay with like something simple and easy to write, they probably go with the indirect thesis statement, which is the one that you write the topic and controlling ideas. Because some people would feel like they might consider or thinking of changing the main idea. So that's why writing with the indirect one would be easier. So maybe in case, you might change your mind and so you don't need to come back and change the information in the thesis sentence. So for this one, having identified the hook, which is, I think should be clearly and simple, is that for the hook going to be the first sentence, which is the one that say that today there are more social networking accounts than there are people on the planet. The topic is about social media, clearly. And then this is just one statement, the one sentence for the hook. However, in your introduction, as the introduction, you can have a couple more. So you don't have to have just one sentence for the hook. You can have like two or three or four sentences for the hook. That's okay. The next one, background information. This is optional. If you want to write, it's okay. If you don't want, it's okay as well. However, for this sample, the background would be sentence, the second sentence, which start from social networking allows people to share ideas with friends and family everywhere. It connects people in the ways that were never possible in the past. Still, user of these sites should be cautioned. That would be the background information. So this the author technically explain like what he or she or they means when they refer to the idea of social network. So as I mentioned, sometimes you can, even though it's like the idea, the topic is commonly known, however, you as the author might consider providing background informations or the definitions to that topic. It's okay as well, because when you provide the definitions, it's technically giving a clear or a meaning, a definitions for that, so the audience know what you mean in this context or in this writing. And the last one, which is the thesis statement, the author wrote, social media can be dangerous. So it's quite short, but maybe some people might say something like, to be a little bit clear, might add something like, social media can be dangerous in many ways. So technically for this one can talk about like the ways how social media, in what way that makes social media dangerous. Or you might add some context like social media can be dangerous for teenagers if you want to focus on only teenagers, or you can focus like social media can be dangerous for elderly. So in your thesis statement, you can add some context to it as well to make your writing more specific. Because in this case, it's like social media can be dangerous in many ways. So it can be dangerous to like the whole populations. But if you want to make it more specific, you definitely can add some context to it. Like in to who, to where, or to what. Definitely that's your choice. That's something that you can do. And when we say something like social media can be dangerous in many ways, this would be the indirect. So this one is the thesis statement, which is the indirect thesis statement. So indirect TS. Or let's see, give you a choice. If you want to write something like direct thesis statement, just give you examples. You can say something like, so let's say making this indirect be a direct thesis statement. So it can be something like social media can be dangerous. So let's dangerous in terms of so in terms of fake news, let's say, supposedly. No, I'm sorry, not in what way can be social media in terms of in what ways, right? So in the way of making friends, making new friends, or 10, that's assuming FREND. Making new friends, finding information, info. So let's, or and finding info or and are in what way, and that is making new friends, finding info or making claims or creating false claims, supposedly. So just example for you to see if you're gonna write the thesis statement in the choice of direct thesis statements, it can be look like something like this. So you need to add the topic. So the topic here is social media. Social media can be dangerous in terms of, and then I add the main idea. Add the main idea, so how it's dangerous, right? Or in what way it's dangerous. So making new friends, finding infos, creating false claims, just come up on the spot. So hopefully it's correct. And I come up with three reasons, because normally when we write an essay, when you write an essay, it would be better to have about like at least three main idea in order to help to you to reach the minimum word count. So if you read like model answer for a lot of writing work, they often come up with three main ideas, because it can help you to reach like 250 words, 250 words or 300 words easily. However, if you are given like you need to write 300 or 350 words, technically you can add more main ideas in order to help you reach the minimum word count. Anybody have questions? My lips look very dark. Okay, moving on. Next one would be the conclusions, I suppose. So for this one, let's take the answer from you. Let's type. Let's see, what do you answer for question number 3? So please type the answer A, B, or C, or D in the chat box. Let's see whether it's okay, correct or not, the one that you choose. Let's take a quick read and see your answer for this one, A, or answer for number 3, rather. It should be A, B, or C. Okay, so start off with the summary first. The summary is quite clear. So the first sentence here is the summary, which is the topic is academic writing. This is the topic. And listing of the main idea is here. So it's required critical skills, understanding of topics, research, high level of vocabularies, and correct grammar. So those are the list of all of the main ideas. So when you summarize your writing in the conclusion paragraph, you can just conclude everything and get it in one paragraph. That's okay. If not, you can divide it into like 1, 2, or 3 sentences. That is okay as well. And last but not least, the 2 sentences at the back. Having these skills is empowering since it has made me a better communicator and student. And I have come a long way since I started college, and I am now proud of the writing that I produce. This would be the final comment, which definitely fall under the category of insight. So insight is where you have experienced something before, and based on those things, you can share something like, this is good, this is bad. So those are the insights. Normally it would be I would say like it would be great if the topic is somehow you can relate it. But if you cannot relate it to the topic, you can provide the final comments in terms of advice, recommendation, or predictions or warning. That is okay as well. It doesn't have to be insight. But let's say since this is maybe it is the topic that the author have experienced before. That's why it shows in insight. We should thank God everybody answers correctly. And moving on, this one. So let's take a quick run. For the hook, which gonna be sentence number 1, gonna be the hook. This one is the topic. The topic is about the reasons why. The topic is about part-time jobs, doing a part-time jobs in a restaurant. So start off with like, imagine this and that. So that's the hook. And the background information would be sentence number 2 and 3. Use something that you don't have conflicts with your studying, and you can do it on weekends. In addition, you're gonna work in the beautiful rooms with paintings on the walls, candlelights, and soothing music in the background. That would be painting the pictures of how restaurant is gonna be. So technically, some way somehow of providing background information. Last but not least, the thesis statement would be sentence number 4. A restaurant job is a convenient choice for college students for several reasons. And you're gonna see that the topics here is like restaurant jobs. Topic is the restaurant jobs, and the controlling idea would be the rest, like convenient choice for college students for several reasons. So those are controlling ideas. And making this thesis statement is in the indirect thesis statement. So you're gonna see that for this one, technically the author gonna provide several reasons, many reasons for why we should work in a restaurant. And because of that, then it's gonna be all reasons. Everything discussed here gonna be reasons. So reasons gonna be, let's say it's under the same category, right? The category of reasons. So you're gonna see that the author actually like use signal words like first and second reasons. The first reason and second reasons to show that the two paragraphs is connected somehow. But start off first with the first body paragraph, sentence number 5 would be the topic sentence. First, restaurant job is a great job for full-time students. And restaurant job is a great time for full-time students because the hours is different. And so the whole sentence for sentence number 5 would be the topic sentence. And the main idea here would be this one. Why we should work in a restaurant, because hours are different. Our difference is the one that shows the main idea. And as you can see in sentence number 6 and 7, it explains how, working in restaurant, you're not going to have conflict with your study. So sentence 6 and 7 would be the supporting sentence. This paragraph 1 do not have concluding sentence. It's just 6, 7, supporting sentence, no concluding. Moving on, next paragraph, body paragraph number 2, sentence number 8. And since this reason is connect, it's not related, but it's connect. Let's say it's in the same group because it's, another reasons. So the author choose to show how reason link with each other by start the paragraph by using signal word, the time order signal word, saying that the second reason. And the whole sentence 8 would be topic sentence. And the main idea is that main idea is the one that states student can eat at the restaurant. Student can eat at the restaurant would be the main idea for why we should work in the restaurant, which makes sentence number 9, 10, and 11 would be the supporting sentence. So, okay, just supporting sentence. Supporting sentence would be, so it's divided to sentence 7 and 6 and 7, 9, 10, and 11 would be supporting sentence as well. And no concluding sentence. Last one, conclusions. Definitely uh, the first one, which is sentence number 12, student can make money, eat, and still have time for class if they work in the restaurant. So as you can see, the author summarize everything. Work in the restaurant would be the topics, and then summarize the main idea, which is they can eat and have time for class. So eat and have time for class. So you see like the author start with the main idea first and then add the topic. So again, when you summarize, you need to make sure that when you provide a summary, if it's in one sentence, you need to have topic and main ideas. No matter which one gonna start first, it can be topics and main ideas, or the main idea first and followed by the topic. That is okay as well. Lastly, sentence number 13. 13 would be definitely final comment. And I'm sorry, 13 and 14 would be the sentence that shows final comment. For this reason, many restaurants are staffed by students. It is a great job for those who need to work while they are in the college. And some might say that this is like suggestions, recommendation that, or opinions. For the final comment. So as you can see, if you don't have final comment, this one going to be just one short sentence, which is one sentence do not count as a paragraph. That's why some people would add a final comment to make it look, not the paragraph is not too short or not one line. One line do not count as paragraph, but it's too short. So add something at the final comment. However, the final comment would consider as optional. You can add or not add it, it's up to you. But if your paragraph too short, the conclusion is too short, add final comment would not be a bad choice. Okay, moving on. Anybody have questions? Yay! Last one. Right. Yeah, right. Okay. Let's take 2 minutes. Please type the answer for for number 1 and 2 in the chat. Let's see your answer. Let's see what you think is the answer for number 1 and number 2. Okay. I think everybody. Okay. Most of you, all of you get it right. Most of you get it right. Right. Right about that. Okay. Let's see. So the topic sentence, I'm sorry, the thesis statement is the thesis statement is that after 2 years of job hunting, I finally found the perfect job. Or the topic here is finding the perfect jobs. This would be the topics. So after 2 years of job hunting is like adding elaboration to the context, to the sentence. However, the topic here is the found the perfect jobs. And as you can see, from A to E, it's provide the reasons. So to identify controlling ideas like finally found, this one would be like controlling ideas. Yeah, it's not exactly like clear, but yeah, finally found. So for some people would write something like, add something like, I have finally found the perfect job for me due to many reasons. So might add that to show that you're gonna talk about reasons why this job is the perfect job. And if you read A, and to identify which one is unity or unrelated. So you need to make sure that the reason is correlates, the reason support the topic. And as you can see, the first one is that I enthusiastic about the challenge I confront at work every day. Even though there are challenges, but I happy with this. So definitely this is, for some would be like, for many people would say that this is the perfect jobs, right? Even though there are challenges, I still happy with it. So A would be definitely a keeper, or the one who say that unite, create unity, support the topic. B, last year I almost got a good job. Last year I almost got. However, B is talk about something like last year. So last year things not relate to reason why this is a good, why this job is the perfect job. So for B would be the one that's unrelated. So this one should be removed out if you're gonna write under this thesis statement. And then C, I am making more money than I have ever made with so many benefits. So money benefits would definitely create the job, make it perfect. So this one support the thesis statement. Next one, my boss is very supportive. So definitely, I'm pretty sure everybody agree that having a supportive job makes the job perfect. And last one, I did not like the job that I had before. That I don't like the job I had before, not about the current jobs, why it's perfect. So number E would be the one that we should be removed. For number 2, skiing is a great sport. So the topic here is skiing is a great sport, but it's not for everyone. So saying that skiing is a great thing, but it's not for everyone. And you're gonna see that the list below A to E here provide reason why it's not for everyone. First one, A, it's not everybody has the skills. So not everybody has the not everybody has the ability to ski well. So this one definitely support the topic. So keep this. B, becoming a good skier means taking certain risks that some people are afraid of. So that's why it's not for everybody, because you need to take risks. Taking risks that some people are afraid of, that's why it's not everyone. C, skiing is more difficult than ice skate. Again, the thesis statement say like something like skiing is not for everybody. But for C, it compares skiing to ice skate, which somehow we would say that it's not related. And then for C would be something like should be removed. It's not support thesis statement because it's talking about a comparison, which is not the focus here. And then D, a day on the slope, it's not always affordable for everybody. So why it's not for everybody? Because it's not always affordable. Not affordable, it means it's not, not everybody be able to pay. So that's what it's mean by the word affordable. Definitely support the thesis statement. And D, definitely support as well, because skiing down the highest slope can be dangerous. So yeah, it can be dangerous. That's why it's not for everyone. So here we go. This is the answer for number 1 and 2. Anybody have any question? Okay. Already? Okay. Okay. Since nobody answered, so let's move on. How's everybody? Still okay? Drink something, eat something. Moving on, we finished the academic writing. Academic writing 1, everything we finished, complete, nothing extra. So now moving on to academic writing 2. Hopefully everybody download the slides. Everybody have it? Right? Yes. Wait. Everybody have it? Wait. Wait, that's wrong. Hopes that everybody have it. Okay, if you haven't downloaded, take a look in the live group. I just shared the file. So let's start off with academic writing 2, gonna focus around different type of essay and like essay that talk about cause effect, classifications, process, descriptions, opinions, compare contrast. So with different style of essay, technically I'm gonna take you through. So let's say act as a guideline for you. If you need to write compare contrast, how to structure your paragraph. So show you off how to structure, but I think at the end of the day, you can do some kind of adjustment, this and that, it's okay. Because when it's come to writing, you can always do somehow of adjustment that fit best your writing. It's okay. But let's take this as a guideline for you to see, like, if you want to write a compare contrast, this is a method or the styles that you can choose to follow. First of all, for the for this essay structures, I'm not gonna talk about the introductions or the conclusions. The introduction is gonna follow the same structure as you've seen in the academic writing 1 lectures. That is, it's gonna be start off with hook, background information, and thesis statement. So every type of essay for the intro will follow that structure. And at the end, for conclusions, it's gonna follow the same structure as well. If you write the essay, your conclusion paragraph will always be like start with the summaries and then adding final comments. So with this, for this, I will focus on the body paragraph. For the intro and the conclusion, just kind of ignore. because it's just going to be the same thing. And last one, I'm sorry, not last one. Start off with the opinion paragraph or opinion organizations. Some people call it some people call it opinion organization. Some people call it persuasive. Opinion is like when you express something. However, some people call it like persuasive essay, because when you express something, sometimes you kind of at the same time when you express, you try to convince your audience. Convince your audience mean like, or persuasive, it means that you try to make your audience believe in your stance, in your positions, or motivate your audience to believe or to agree with you. Yeah, that's why we call it persuasive. However, since it is like essay writing for graduate students, or for English and writing and English proficiency test, normally we're not going to be like persuasive like what we do when we talk, but we're going to be persuasive using like fact-based. So it's going to be not like, even though it used the word persuasive, but it's not going to be like, so we're not going to use words or words that give meaning that highly persuasive or emotional. We're going to kind of be more neutrals and use facts or stats or knowledge to convince your readers to believe, to agree with you. And for opinion organizations, there are 3 types of essay that you can follow, that you can choose, which sometimes you can choose, but sometimes if you take like English exam, you probably have to follow the questions, right? So in that sense, you probably cannot choose. As you can see from the 2 bullet point here, express an opinion about a controversy issues, and the writer must take a position to persuade the reader. When it's come to persuasive essay or opinion essay, it's often fall under the category that when you need to persuade someone, it's like, it's the topic that you need to persuade them is tend to be something that controversial. Controversial, it means that the topics that, some people agree and some people disagree. And it's okay to disagree and it's okay to agree. So the topic that's, not everybody sees the same. So some people might go for this side, some people might go for the other side, which at the end of the day, when you have to write, you probably need to take a stand, take a position. And with controversial issues, like for example, taking like whether you support or whether you agree or disagree with using AI to create art, something like that. So this is a topic that we would say that it's kind of controversial. Some people believe that it's okay to use AI to create art, but some people say like it's not exactly okay. So your choice is that you can choose to go with agree with the AI, using AI to create art, or you can go with disagree, which either way are correct. Either way are correct. But at the end of the day, you can normally at the end of the day, you're gonna choose, you need to take sides. And yes, some people would say that. However, sometimes I feel like that for certain topic, for certain controversial topic, I feel both agree and disagree at the same time. Yes, you can be that as well. It's okay to be that. However, when it's come to writing, especially when you take like writing exams, if you get a questions that ask you to like whether you agree or disagree, normally we would suggest you to choose to take a position. Like this one, I would start off with the illustrative opinion. So with illustrative opinions, when to use, so when to apply this essay structure is that when you see questions like whether do you agree or disagree, when question have this keyword with this and that, do you agree or disagree? Or and then with some people say that since then going to traditional school is better. However, some say that homeschool is even better. Do you think the benefits outweigh the drawback? So if you see keywords like benefits outweigh drawback, agree or disagree, in the sense of writing, to make it persuasive and to make it easy to write, a lot of people would suggest suggest that you should take a position. Take a position here is to choose whether do you agree or you disagree. Avoid say something like I both agree or disagree. I'm sorry, I kind of both agree and disagree. So if you have a choice, okay, so let's say, so I use the question here, I use the question like space explorations. Let's take this for example. The question asks you whether do you think we should go for space exploration or not. So the choice is that we should go for space. We should not go to the space. So that it means that no space explorations. So it means stay on the earth, or I both agree. So I think we should do both things at the same time. So normally that's going to be the three options you can choose, right? However, to make it easy to write and your writing is look, strong. The reason is like strong. Normally we would suggest you choose between this or this. Choose to write, to answer the question by focusing on, yes, I think we should go for space explorations, or no, we should not go for space exploration. But the last one would say that I think we should do both. This one you be not recommended. The reason is that because when you write both reasons, sometimes for you feel like when you discuss both reasons, you give both reasons, you feel like it's equally heavy, the reason is equally strong. However, when the audience read your answer, read your readings, they might not feel like it's balanced. The reason is not balanced. I don't think it's equally strong. I think it's like one side seem to be stronger than the other. Which, yeah, so technically they might not see the same thing as you. And if that happens, it's going to make your writing as a whole look like you not exactly have a proper positions, which is why if you ask like the question agree or disagree, do you think the benefit is more than the drawback or the drawback more than the benefit? Pick the sides, take a positions. Like this one again, whether do you think we should go for space exploration, we should invest in space exploration or not? So you should choose like, yes, we should do it, or no, we should not do it. So pick a side would be easier when you need to write the answer. So based on this, let's say I pick a side. Yes, I pick a side. And I pick by say that yes, we should do space explorations. Before you start your writing, do some kind of outline or planning would be great, because it would help you to avoid repeating yourself. Yes. Trust me, it's actually help. It would be great to plan first, because sometimes I've seen a lot is that sometimes when you write, okay, not you, but when some people write, they kind of repeat the same thing. They repeat the same detail, which make the supporting sentence, the supporting detail is not, the quality is not there. because you repeat information again and again. Or sometimes you kind of mix something together, which is why planning takes some time. 5 to 10 minutes to plan first would be great. So with this one, I start with planning, which is if I say that I think space exploration is worth the investment, we should do it. So I provide the list of reasons, 3 reasons technically, again, 3 reasons why we should invest in space explorations. I provide 3 reasons, which think about the 3 reasons first, like before you write. I use 3 because it's easy to reach the minimum word count. However, you can write 2 or probably not 1, definitely. You can go for 2 or more than that, more 2, 3, 4, up to you. Depend on your requirement, but normally you're gonna see a lot of people start with 3. So the reason that I use here is new resource. We should do space exploration in order to gain new resource, friends, and habitat. New place to live, technically. So as you can see, how I divide is that for illustrative organization is that technically you provide 1 reason per 1 body paragraph. So for each reason that I support space exploration. So body paragraph 1, I state that, okay, this is going to be, we should go do space exploration in order to find new resource and then explain why we need to find extra or new resource. Body paragraph 2, talk about friends, why we need to get new friends, aliens, potential friends who know out there in the world. And then body paragraph 3, going to be talking about habitat. We need to do space exploration in order to find new place to live. And maybe the detail can be because the earth is this and that, natural disaster, this and that. So you can go on for that. So 1 main idea per 1 body paragraph. And yes, because the reason it's somehow related together because it's under the same group. So for each body paragraph here in the illustrations, organization, you can start with like the first reason, the second reason for body paragraph 2, and the third paragraph, you can start with like finally or the third reason. That is okay. And for the introductions, and for the introduction, I just provide the thesis statement for you to see as example. So I say like space exploration, space X, that would be the topic, is worth the investment for several reasons. So that would be my indirect thesis statement. And for the conclusion, I just do a quick summary for you is that space exploration is a great way to find new resource, new friends, and new habitat. So a quick summary for that. So this one is the baseline type of essay structure. When you need to provide something like same categories, and from same group, same categories, but you kind of divide each group or each details separately in a separate body paragraph. So for illustrative organization, you're going to see that all the reasons from the body paragraph, it's come from the same group, come from the same positions. So it's just like your whole essay is just like super clear that I agree with space explorations. Yes, you will see the whole, like the samples of the full essay as well later. But for now, since there are many types for you have to go through, that's why we're gonna go through the structure of it first. And you will see the sample later, sample full version of essay later. This one would be the first one for opinion, which is illustrative. The second one, okay, sorry. Okay. And this is the second one called argumentative organizations. So for argumentative organization would be suitable for questions like the question that asks you like, do you agree or disagree? Or the questions that have something like, do you think the benefits outweigh the drawbacks? So the same question that you've seen in illustrative. When you've seen questions for agree or disagree, technically you have a choice between going for the illustrative organization or argumentative organization. The difference between argumentative and illustrative is that for argumentative, you're going to present reason from both sides. However, you're going to present more reason from the chosen position. What it means is that, again, let's back to space exploration questions. Again, I said the question is like, do you agree? Do you think we should invest in space exploration? And the choice that I go for is that I believe that we should go for space. So with that, with argumentative, it means that I need to present more of the reasons why we should do space explorations, and then some reasons from the opposite side, which is why we should not do space exploration. And the opposite side of not going to space is technically like invest in the world, stay in the world, not going out, spend money in the world. And to start off with the introduction, and as you can see, for argumentative, you present from both sides, even though you say that let's restart. For argumentative, even though you're going to present reason from both sides, but however, argumentative, you still take sides, you choose a position. So in the thesis statements, you need to say like, what is your position? Which is this one, since I say that I think invest in the space exploration is better. So my thesis statement should be something that mean like, or shows that I think space exploration is good. That's why I say that agree with space exploration. That would be the thesis. Then for body paragraph, again, for argumentative opinions, it's quite simple, is that you're going to present one reason for one paragraph, one main idea. One main idea for one body paragraph. Yes, you can do that. So since, as you see at the top is that for argumentative, you need to present reason from both sides, however, more reason from the chosen sides. So let's say if I'm gonna do 3 reasons, it means that I should write this reason for going to space more than the opposite side. So that's why, as you can see, I provide 2 reasons why we should do space exploration. So body paragraph 1, the reason for going to space. Body paragraph 2, the second reason for going to space. So 2 reasons, and more reasons from the chosen side, but I need to present both. So since I'm gonna do just 3 body paragraph, it means that body paragraph number 3, I'm gonna write the reasons why we should invest in the world. So the opposite one. So opposite from my chosen side. And I said that we should invest in the world because we because probably the our education system is not that much this and that. That's why invest in the world is worthwhile. It can give more benefits to the humanities at all, this and that. So again, for argumentative, you need to present more reasons from your chosen side, which in this case, I know I'm gonna just write 3 reasons. That's why I write 2 reasons for my positions and 1 reason from the position that I did not choose. And as you can see here, there are 3, right? Yes, you can do more than 3. It doesn't have to be 3, and it can be more than 3 in terms of like if you want to like make it, but I think it should be odd number, because if it's 4 reasons, if you have 4 body paragraph, 2 and 2 it would be equal, right? 2 reason from opposite side and 2 reason would from the agree side would not more than. That's 3 is like 2 reasons from the opposite sides, 2 reasons from my side and 1 from the opposite side. So this one is okay. But 4 would be 2 reasons from my chosen side and 2 reasons from the opposite side. That would be equal, not more than. If you want to write more than 3 paragraphs for argumentative, yes, you can do it. But it would be better to stick with odd number. So like 5. So for 5, you can do like 3 reasons from your chosen side and 2 reasons from the opposite side, which is okay. Or you can do like, if you have 5, can we stick with 5? And you can do like 3 reasons from your chosen side and 1 reason from your opposite side. That is okay as well. The idea is that when you present reason and applying the argumentative organizations, you need to make sure that you present more reasons from your chosen side, chosen position than the opposite one. So 2-1, 3-2, 4-1, or yeah, or more than that, that's okay. And this applies to illustrative as well. The illustrative paragraph, it doesn't have to be 3. You can have more than 3. You can have 2 paragraphs, it's okay as well. 3 paragraph, okay. 3, 4 body paragraph, okay as well. The number of paragraph depend on you, because sometimes it depends on the requirement. For the reason I said it's depend on you, because like if you can explain a lot, you can add a lot of detail, maybe your number of paragraph might be a little bit low. However, some people might say that I have a lot of ideas. So if you have a lot of ideas, your number of body paragraph might be increased. Yes, that's possible. Or maybe your requirements, the word limitation is high. So that's why the number of paragraph might be increasing, because you have a high requirement to match. That is possible. It doesn't have to be 30. It can be more, it can be a little bit less for illustrative. But for argument, I think the minimum would be 3. Yes. This is something that you have to adjust according to your requirement, or let's say the questions, the things that you want to write about. And moving on, last organization, the last organization under the opinion organizations. This is called discursive essay. Discursive essay or discursive organization is the type of essay that you are given by the question. The question asks you to write, discuss both sides, discuss both views. What are the advantage and disadvantage? the keyword is both and. So you are given, your requirement is that you need to do both things. So you need to follow the requirement. The only things that you have to do, you need to follow the requirements. So you need to write both sides, write both view, or discuss the advantage and disadvantage of that. And some questions might also ask you another thing is that, what is your opinion? If the question asks you to write both sides, technically you just write both view, which is negative and positive thing about that issue. However, if an extra question being asked, like, what is your opinion based on this thing? So with that question, the extra question, it's mean that you need to answer and tell your position. Saying like, what is your, provide your opinion, express your opinion, mean that the question asks you to take positions. So you can choose. So you should choose whether do you think it's benefit is more than the drawback, or take the position between agree or disagree. Yes, you can. Yes, some people may also answer like, I'm staying in the middle. That is okay as well. There's like 3 options you can choose. And for discursive, since the question asks you to discuss both sides, so clearly, let's say both sides, to make it easy, it's like, let's say, normally it's going to be like, talk about positive and negative things. If it's both sides, both view, if you need to talk about positive and negative, definitely it's kind of straightforward. It means that you need to provide the benefits and the drawback in an equal amount. In an equal amount, it means that if you provide one benefit, it means that you need to write one drawback. If you write 2 benefits, you need to have 2 drawback as well. So equal. Make sure it's equal, not more. If you go with 1 benefit, then you add 1 drawback. If you go for 2 benefits, then 2 drawback. Yes, you can go with 3 benefits. Make sure you have 3 drawback. Okay. So, and start off with the intro in the thesis statement. Under the thesis statement, since the question asks you to write both sides or discuss both view, positive and negative things, meaning that the thesis statement, you need to write something like, the space exploration provide both benefits and drawbacks. Provide many benefits and drawbacks. So your thesis statement will need to kind of follow the structure, is that you will write benefits and drawback. It's not going to be just like benefits only or the drawback only. You need to write both benefit and drawback. So thesis statement going to be like, okay, here are space exploration provide benefits, many benefits and many drawbacks. And the easiest way to, and because your answer is come from 2 opposite sides, one side is benefits, one side is drawbacks. So to make it easy and simple is that 1 paragraph for the benefits, 1 paragraph for the drawbacks. That's how you define things. So that's why you're going to see this. For body paragraph 1, you write the benefits. Body paragraph 2, you write the drawback. Under body paragraph 1, if you have 1 benefit, the drawback going to be 1. Under body paragraph 1, if you have 2 benefits, body paragraph 2 going to have 2 drawbacks. If you have 3 benefits, body paragraph 2, 3 drawback as well. So when you write, so let's say for body paragraph 1, when you let's say if you give 2 benefits, when you write in your essays, technically you talk about the first benefits first, and then explain about the first benefits. And then in the same paragraph, you talk about the second benefit in the same body paragraph, and do the same thing for the drawbacks. For body paragraph 2, let's assume we have 2 drawbacks. So body paragraph 2, you start with the first drawback and then add the details, this and that, why it's a bad thing, and then add after you finish the detail for the drawback 1, the first drawback, you start the detail for the explanation for drawback number 2, the second benefits, and then add the details. So technically the detail for drawback 1 and drawback 2 going to be, compressed together under the same paragraph. So everything going to be include everything in the same paragraph. And in the conclusions, again, you just provide summary of what are the benefits, what are the drawbacks. If the question asks you to take position, then tell your positions at the end, at the very end. You think it's like good thing, you think it's bad, you think this is more beneficial, or this just not beneficial at all. So you add the positions after you provide the summary. After you take the position here, you can add final comments or not, that's up to you. So one way to provide discursive essay is to divide benefits in one body paragraph and drawback in another. So the whole writing, you're gonna have 4 paragraphs in total. Intro, body paragraph 1 would be benefits, body paragraph 2 gonna be drawback, paragraph 3 would be conclusion, so 4 in total. One way. However, yes, you can do something on the left here under the discursive one in the yellow highlight box. This is another way that you can do it as well. For discursive essay, yes, you can divide each benefit into separate it into a different paragraph. So let's say at this one, I say like B1 is like body paragraph 1. So body paragraph 1 talk about benefits 1. Body paragraph 2, benefit number 2. Body paragraph 3, drawback number 1. Body paragraph 4, drawback number 2. That is possible. Make sure you have equal amount of the benefits and equal amount of the drawbacks. Yes, it's possible. So if it's using like the yellow box here, you will end up with 6 paragraphs in total. Intro, benefit 1, benefit 2, drawback 1, drawback 2, and last one, paragraph 6 would be the conclusions. Which one you're gonna select? Up to you. Nothing like no right, wrong things. Anybody have any questions? It would be better when you see the examples, when you see thing when we kind of combine it in a proper essay. But for now, since there are a lot, yes, this is how we're gonna go through things. But just have a look at the structure first. Anybody have any questions? Stick with me. I'm sorry. Stick with me. There are one more organization before we're gonna take a break. The next style of organizations would be the cause-effect solution essay. Cause-effect solution essay is that when you talk about the cause, the effects, the solutions of a certain issue. First thing to be cautioned is make sure you understand what is cause, what is effect. The cause and the effect is not the same thing. The cause is why something happened. That is the cause. Let's take global warming as example. The cause of global warming is like traffic jams, deforestation. Yes, those are causes. And the effect of global warming is not global warming. The effect of global warming is like effect of global warming is rising sea level, temperature rising. Yes, those are the effects. So make sure when you talk about the effect, the issue itself, the name that we call the issue is not the effects. That's just like the name we're giving to that issue. And make sure you can separate between cause and effect. It's not the same thing. Why something happened, that cause, why or what happened, what the result after that, what happened to it, that's the effects. And the last thing, which is definitely clearly to identify, is the solutions. So something like the measure, what are the measure, what are the methods to use to solve the problems, to reduce the problems, to elevate the issues, those are solutions. So whatever method, solution, options, measures to reduce, to elevate the issues, solutions. Cause, effect, solutions. 3 different things. So the most easy way to write cause, effect, solution is that if you are given the question to talk about cause only, effects only, it's like this one would be similar like the illustrative, is that you can choose to discuss the cause, let's say like on, as you can see on the left side, here. If you are given to write just cause, so you can divide each cause to a separate body paragraph, clearly, simple as that. Or you can, if you write about effects, you can follow the same structures. You can divide each effects into different paragraph. That's an option. And yes, another option is that you can kind of combine everything, combine all, let's say if in here, let's say if you have 3 cause, you can combine all the 3 cause into one single paragraph. That is possible, which might happen when you write introductions or literature review. In your introductions or literature review, you might talk about a cause of something, which you might, instead of having one cause for one paragraph, you don't want it to be that long, you can kind of combine 3, 4, or 5 causes together in one single paragraph. That's okay, because in your intro, you're going to discuss like cause, effect, solutions. You're going to discuss many things, right? So instead of having like so many paragraphs, you might choose to combine everything together in one single paragraph. That is okay. You can decide and you can go with that option as well. And this one is another, I'm sorry, not another. Sometimes you might want to discuss both cause and effects. So this one, it's just talking about the cause only, or the effects only, or the solution only. So one thing at a time. However, this one, this style, this organization, cause effect organization, it's where you kind of do 2 things at the same time. You're going to talk about the cause and effects. You may choose to, you might given the questions, or maybe you want to talk about the cause and effects, or the effects and solutions, or cause and solutions. Who knows? In essay writing, you might given like question like this. The question asks you to talk about the cause and effect, or cause and solutions. Yes, it's possible. So these are the 3 possible. And yes, it might be possible that you might talk about the cause and effects in your thesis. It's probably like in your intro or the literature review. Because sometimes you feel you may want to like provide the foundation or the common ground first. So that's why you might consider adding cause and effects of your issue within the intro. That is possible. How to do that? So how to do that? For how to do that, let's say I take this one for cause and effects, or it can be like cause and solution or effects and solution, but I take cause and effects as examples. So to write both cause and effect at the same time, so I actually like divide it into like, because I can list 2 cause and 2 effects only, so that's why I only have 2 body paragraph. You can have more. How I combine the paragraph I construct is that for body paragraph 1, I discuss about cause 1 and effect 1. So the first cause and its effects. Cause 1 lead to this effect. So that's why I say effect 1. Body paragraph 2, I list the second cause. So this is a totally different cause. So I go for cause number 2 and then effects number 2. After I discuss about the cause number 2, I follow by the details about the effects number 2. Effects number 2 is like the effect, which is the result from cause 2. So it's mean that effect number 1 and 2 is totally different. It should be different. If it's the same thing, it would be better to combine cause 1 and 2 together. Because if you write something the same, so if effect 1 and effect 2 is the same thing, it would be better to combine things into the same paragraph rather than having like 2 separate ones. Because if you have 2 separate, it's like you repeat your details, which is not exactly good in writing. So if you need to write both cause and effect, technically you can just like list the cause and then follow by the effect within the same paragraph. Yeah, that can be ways for you to do it. So as you can see here, I say something like cause and effect. Number 1 is not equal to 2. So cause 1 and cause 2 would not be the same thing, should not be the same thing. And effect 1 here, effect 1 and effect 2, again, it should not be the same things. So as you can see, cause 1 not the same as cause 2, and effect 1 is not the same as effect 2. You can have more than 2 body paragraph or 2. That's up to you. And yes, it's possible that cause, like based on effect 1, you might have like more than 1 cause. It can be like 2 cause or 3 cause. Like let's say you have 2 cause, and then for body paragraph 1, you might have 2 cause which lead to effect 1. Yes, that's possible. And when you move to body paragraph 2, instead of mention just 1 cause, it would be better to mention like 2 cause, which can lead to effect number 2. Make sure you balance it out when you write. The idea of writing is like you try to balance it out, make sure that the detail in 1 paragraph not gonna be so heavy, so dense when it's compared to the next one. And this just kind of combine it together. And yes, it's if you write cause and effect, if you can, the one that I showed you is actually follow the chain style of cause and effect organizations. Another one is that another one that you can write, or you can choose to write, is using the block styles, which is body paragraph 1 talk about cause 1, body paragraph 2 talk about cause 2, where cause number 2, and then body paragraph 3 talk about the effect, which is the result from cause 1, body paragraph 4, effect number 2, the results from cause number 2. Either it's going to be the block or chains, up to you. I would not say which one is better because I think it's can be equally great. Depend on you, depend on how much detail you want to add, how much detail you're going to present, depend on yourselves. Some people would feel like this one is better, it's fit my writing style. Some people might feel like this one is it's better for my style. So anybody have questions? Anybody have any questions? Yes, there are a lot. I'm sorry, that's a lot for many style. Ouch. Meeting group chat. Meeting group chat. If nobody has a question, everybody is super quiet, we're gonna take a break. So continue from the cause effect, which the next one gonna be, oh, this first. This one is the transition word, which is highly often occur in cause effect. So I kind of group them up, and as you can see with the examples, so you can use it. The next one, the next style of writing, the next style of writing is the compare contrast essay. Compare contrast essay would be the type of essay that I believe you have written, maybe not in English, but definitely in your language, your mother tongue language, definitely, which is where you discuss about the difference and or similarity between two objects. So definitely is that. And yes, I believe when it's come to compare contrast, a lot of people would focusing on just the contrast only, because when you write the difference, you can probably discuss a little bit more, you can write more. However, when we talk about compare contrast, you can talk about the similarity as well. I know the detail might be a little bit short, but actually the choice is not just write about the difference. The choice that you can write both the difference and the similarity between the two subjects that you choose to compare and contrast with. So if you write compare contrast, definitely the thesis topic or the topic sentence, if it's just a paragraph, you need to provide the name. So let's say the topic here would be the subjects, the things that you choose to compare, the two things. And then you need to indicate the controlling idea. So the controlling idea would be stating that you're going to talk about differences between the two objects, or the similarities between the two objects, or both differences and similarity between the two objects. So the controlling idea for compare contrast, clearly, technically, you need to state what you're going to talk about here. Going to be only the difference, only the similarities of both similarity and differences. And I'm going to use this picture as example. The object or the subject here. So I provide the objects, which is, let's assuming we're going to compare between photo 1 and photo 2, which is photo 1 would be like the one with a little bit dark. Photo 2 going to be something with lighter, smiles, this and that. And again, before you start your writing, proper essay, think about the answer first. And with compare contrast, I come up with this word, the point of comparisons. You need to think about what are the point that you're going to choose to discuss, choose to compare, choose to contrast. So let's assume based on this picture, I'm going to compare between the two pictures. I'm going to compare in terms of light, the light between picture 1, photo 1, and the light in photo 2. The second thing that I'm going to compare is expression of photo 1 and photo 2. And the last thing is the movement of photo 1, the movement for photo 2. So the point of comparison that I choose here to compare the two pictures is going to be light, expression, and movement. So take this as examples in order to help you see the structure of the paragraph better. For compare contrast organization, there are two styles of writing that you can choose to follow. Let's take it as a guideline for you. So the first style is called block organization. For the block organizations, the number of body paragraph would be equal to the number of subjects or the number of object here. Subject, object, same thing. So it means that if I compare between two photos, using block organization, meaning that I can have two body paragraphs. Number of body paragraph equal to number of subjects or objects. So two photos, two subjects, two photos, two body paragraph. And when you write compare contrast, you're gonna follow the point of comparisons. Like in here, take body paragraph 1. Let's start with body paragraph 1. So start out with the body paragraph 1. I'm gonna discuss about photo 1. And with photo 1, I'm gonna talk about the light, expressions, and movement. So based on the point of comparison that I have listed before. So how's the light shows in photo 1? What are the expression in photo 1? What are the movement for photo 1? Number 1. So explain all of these point of comparisons based on photo 1. Moving on, body paragraph number 2. For body paragraph number 2, you're going to talk about photo 2. So not photo 1, this one, body 2, photo 2. And in photo 2, what you're going to write is the same structure as you choose that you wrote in your body paragraph 1, which is when it's come to photo 2, body paragraph 2, start to discuss about the light first. What are the light? What happened to the light in photo 2? How's the expression shows in photo 2? And what are the movement in photo 2? So you're going to see that in terms of the details in each body paragraph, I use the same structures. Light, expression, movement for photo 1. And photo 2, light, expression, movement for photo 2. Normally, we would advise you follow the same structure, having the same structure. Like it doesn't have to be start with light, okay? It can start with movement, expression, and light. That is okay as well. However, whatever you start first with based on your point of comparison, make sure you use the same structure, the same arrangement for the next body paragraph. The reason for that is that, so if the first thing that you discuss, compare contrast, is light, and then the second thing is expression, and the third thing is movement. This, when you create this structure, it gives your audience the structure. You kind of like teach them that, okay, this is my structure. The reason you have to do this is that technically just make it easy for the reader to follow. And because it is compare contrast, sometimes they need to recall, they need to reread what happened to this, what happened to that. Having the same structure, it gives the audience the ease that if they want to read about light, they know that it should be like the beginning portion of your paragraph. Or if it's about movement, it should be like the ending of your paragraph. So technically, like it's like easy to find. So try to stick with the same arrangement in terms of point of comparison in the details for each body paragraph. First styles. The second style, point by point organization. For the point by point organization, I think a lot of people already have used this style of writing before, is that where you talk about each point of comparisons and talk what happened in each object. So based on point by point organizations, the number of paragraph, the number of body paragraph would equal to the number of point of comparisons, which means that since you have 3 point of comparisons, it means that you're gonna have 3 body paragraph. If you have 5 point of comparisons, you're gonna have 5 body paragraph. Simple as that. And definitely as straightforward as that. Body paragraph 1, technically you talk about light. Yes, you can start with expressions. You can count that as the first thing. That's okay as well. You can start with any point, but let's say pick one. Okay, let's say body paragraph 1, start with light, and then in the descriptions, supporting sentence, you need to explain what happened in photo 1, photo 2. Body paragraph 2, move to the next point of comparisons, and then what happened in photo 1, what happened in photo 2. Body paragraph number 3, movement, and then the details. What happened in photo 1, what happened in photo 2. Again, create some kind of structure and stick with the structure. What I mean by the structure is that, as you can see, when in the details for each body paragraph, I always start with photo 1 and then followed by photo 2. So that is the structure that I create in order to make it easy for the audience to catch up. Because when it comes to writing, the audience cannot ask you questions. What they can do is just read and reread. So it would be great to create some kind of structure, some kind of patterns for that, easy for the audience to follow or catch up. That's why we have this one. Start with 1, followed by 2, and yes, you can start with 2, followed by 1, and then, but if you're going to start with 2, followed by 1, please follow the same structure. And that would be the point by point organizations. Again, you have a choice between block or point by point organization. Truly, this is up to you. I think either one are great in its own. So this is where you choose which one is best fit your style of writing or best fit your content that you wish to provide to your audience. This one is just a summary of the pattern styles, and these are the summary of the transitional words, the linking words that often occur common use in compare contrast organizations. Moving on, the next one is this one is probably where you might seen this, but not like in writing questions that come in like English proficiency test, language test, but maybe this is where you might apply process organization in your work, in your class, or in your thesis. Because who knows, in your thesis, you might need to talk about a certain theory or certain process. So the idea would be this. With process organization, I provide you with two examples. The first one is a theory, one theory which called Maslow theory. So with this Maslow theory, technically it's divided into 5 components. 5 components here. The 5 component is like start from physiology, safety, social, self-esteem, and self-actualizations. 5 sub-components based on Maslow. So based on the 5 components, if you feel like this is your, central theory, the main theory in your research. So whatever it is, the important thing, normally it's means that you need to discuss, you need to write, provide detailed information about that. So if you believe, if you feel, if you think that you need to provide super detailed information for this theory, yes, it's possible that you can have 5 body paragraphs based on each component. For each body paragraph, you're gonna write 1 component. So body paragraph 1, physiology, sociology. Body paragraph 2, safety need. Body paragraph 3, social needs. Body paragraph 4, self-esteem, and number 5 would be self-actualizations. If it's something that is needed to be super detailed, you can have each paragraph for each component. However, if you feel like you don't need it to be so detailed, but somehow detailed, you might consider group these theory, let's say based on like the one on the sides, based on like basic need, psychological need, a self-fulfilled need, or maybe group them based on deficiency need and growth need. So that is possible. Yeah, so yes, if you feel like you don't want it to be so detailed, but you still somehow need to be detailed, you can group them. However, at the end of the day, if you feel like I just want to provide a quick summary of the theory, the Maslow theory, yes, it's possible as well that you provide explanation of the 5 components of this theory by put it in all together, combined all together in 1 paragraph. That is possible. So as you can see, there is a choice between 5 paragraph, 3 paragraph, 2 paragraph, and 1. Either all, this is what you need to decide. If you want it to be super detailed, maybe 1 steps, 1 component, or 1 paragraph. However, if it's not needed to be just a quick review, everything can conclude in 1 paragraph. That is possible. So with process organization, I would say at the end of the day, it depends on you. How long it's gonna be, how detailed it's gonna be, how many paragraphs it's gonna be. It truly depends on you. And this would apply the same to writing, explaining about something in process or something that shows in step. Like this one, it's the aluminum recycles, which is the total of 7, right? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So based on this, based on these 7 steps, again, a quick review, you don't have much detail to include. Maybe the 7th step can be written in 1 paragraph. That's okay. But if you need to explain it in super detail, what it's mean, what it's composed, what the material, what's this and what's that, what's the time, what's how, why. So yes, the 7 steps here can divide into 7 separate paragraphs. That is possible. So again, the idea of process organization is that normally you can apply in your like research writing or maybe in your work. The length of process organization paragraph, the length and the number of paragraphs depend on you. If you want it to be details, it's going to be long and many. But if you not want it to be details, it's going to be short, maybe one. Yes, it's possible. So that would be process organizations. At the end of the day, you need to decide how it's going to be. And for the topic statement or the thesis statement for process organization, it's just like stating the name. What are the name of that process and how the number of steps? It would be thesis statements. Stating the name of the process and the number of steps or the number of components, the number of factors under that theory. Some way, somehow, some of you might include process organization, but was probably need to include your include this process organization in your writing, because you probably like apply certain theory or certain theory in your research. Like if you study about leadership theories, there are many leaderships. So yeah, you probably need to apply the theory and explain the details. That would be process organizations. Sorry, and let's moving on. So there we go. Click run through. Next one, which is last, not yes. Sorry. Definitions paragraph. So definitions paragraph, this is where a lot of you, again, gonna have to, a lot of you gonna use this in your thesis. In your thesis or in your research writing, you probably, at some point, you need to provide definition to something, definition of something. So clearly, when you provide definition of something, it is where you explain, you pick one theme and explain that, right? So explain this and that, which that's how it goes, definitely. That's how it's gonna be. Moment. Which, when it's come to definitions, if you write a thesis or thematic paper, this is where you probably need to write definitions paragraph, which you're gonna see it in your one of the sections that called definitions of term or the glossary. So everybody need to write a definitions. So I'm gonna take a little bit step forward to the details that's gonna be shown in chapter 1, the introduction. When you need to write definitions of term in your introductions, it's a section, one of the section going to be called in definition. Some people might call it glossary. So either all. So in here, what you're going to have to do is that you're going to provide your key terms, the keywords. The keywords, something key terms relate to your research, your topic, and then you provide definitions. So one thing, first, the definitions here, this is the definition. So let's say I use this word. The word organizational commitment. And in the red text would be definitions. One thing. This definition, you need to write it. This is something that you need to make it your own. You cannot open the dictionary and take the meaning from the dictionary and put it here. No, you need to create it your own. You need to do it your own. You need to make it your own. So this thing, you need to create it your own and create the meaning to be specific as well, not just create your own, but it's the meaning that you're based on, the meaning that the words that provide the meaning that specific related to your research topic. How to come up with this meaning? So with this, I gonna link it to, so how to do that? This gonna link to something like this. So I know, let's say we're not an expert, first of all. Since we are not an expert, we probably cannot just come up and tell the meaning. And or if we write the word by ourselves, we might feel like the meaning is not complete, it's not, I'm not sure whether is this correct or not. So how to do that? How to is that the meaning that you provide is not just like come up anywhere, or you cannot just copy from one guy or from one researcher and make it your own, then rephrase from one. No. A better way to do it is that you will take meanings that being like the meaning of this word, that being referred, that being like provide the descriptions, provide the definitions from several researchers. So based on this one, I just do the quick one is that, okay, based on this word, I take the meaning that being described from this guy in 1993. Yes, I know you probably say that, but this 1993 is aging. It's like way so old. However, in my defense, I would say that I include this because this is the first guy who come up with this word. So this is why you can use like super old source. It's still possible if like you can defend that, oh, this is the first guy who called the words, who called the meaning. So it's words that we conclude them. And yes, I still have like 19 something, which is, oh my God, it's so old. Oh, those two guys is the famous people in this for this field. So these two people, they are famous. They are the god of this thing. So that's why I included here. So yeah. And because of the three, it's super also, but yeah, it still works. However, I do have something more reason as well. I do this while ago. So that's why it's like 2001. I also include something that is more reason as well, more reasons meaning of the words. So I shows you in like here. So with this, based on this guy, I kind of the meaning I provide here in the, oops, sorry. So those that shows in here in the purples, when you take the definitions from Monroe, so it's definitely come from some source. You cannot copy it from it. Paraphrase. Yes, it's not easy, but you can. Paraphrase the meaning. You need to paraphrase this and write it that say that, okay, this one come from this guy. And when you take the meaning that being described by this person, you need to paraphrase it again. Yes. So when you provide the definitions, for me, I would say that I would suggest that you combine the meaning. You provide the meaning by combine from, you know, those who famous in the field, famous from that word, or in that word, and or people who invent that thing, and also include the meaning that come from recent work. The reason that you should include something reasons, because something reason, it's maybe, you know, who knows, there might be some changes, some development in that field. That's why we should include meaning that more reason as well. Because when time passes, things change. So that's why the meaning from recent, something like up to date, would give, some maybe something, interesting. And with that, all of these things, all of those six, six meaning. At the end of the day, combine everything, conclude everything, and make it your own. So at the end, I would say like from the above mentioned definition, it can be concluded that this means this. This word, organizational commitment, means this thing. So this is how you come up with for the meaning, especially words, technical words. That's how you come up with it. Yes, you can do like, it doesn't have to be six. This one I took it from six sources. You can choose like 3 or 4. It's okay as well, but definitely 3 would be better. 2, I think it might be a little bit less. Normally, like this definitions of terms, details here, you're gonna include in the literature review, like literature review chapter. Yes. So it's gonna be look something like this, or if you're not gonna include like the definitions here, technically this is how to create the definitions that you need to include in your glossary or definition of term section in your introduction chapter. So how to. So trace back. And when you like kind of finalize and make it your own here, so technically how to select or what to select, this is what you need to decide. This is like what you're gonna put it here in to make it your own, like in the red text here. Based on the 6 things here, you need to select which one you think is more appropriate for your meanings, the one that gives like the best meaning and most reflects your research topic. So this is where you need to do the adjust, analyze, things, design. That would be definitions of term. Normally, like definition paragraph would be technically, yes, provide the detail, provide the background of this and that. However, I jump a little bit forward to introduction in order to show you how to write the definitions when you need to provide the detail for definition of terms section. And moving next, after definitions of term gonna be transition words. So tons of transition word for you to scenes and on. So I've sent I have shared you this to your email as well. Don't memorize it. It's way too much. I don't even memorize everything here. So these are the transitions for you to use just in case. Transition words for you to use. This and that. I take it from the University of Victoria. I think it's the best one to combine everything all together. It's nice. And the other one, which looks something like this, I think it's great because it kind of shows you how to make sure you use punctuations. Words like this, words like however. Normally, if you start the word however at the beginning of the sentence, it's gonna be the text. Normally, when you write the word however, oops, see that. So normally when you start the sentence with the word however, it should always follow by with the comma and then the sentence that you want which to talk about. The word however can also be used like to connect cross. So let's say in the middle of the sentence as well. So it's going to be like, okay, information, this and that. And then, however, when you use the word however, before the word however to be included in the sentence, it needs a semicolon first, and then comma, and then the phrase that you're going to follow the cross. So make sure you use the correct punctuation as well. So semicolon, however, comma, and then the contrast cross that you can include. This would apply to words like however, in contrast, furthermore, additionally, the transition words. The transition technique. And last but not least, at the very end of the slide is gonna be moment. This one. So the presentations here. Here, technically, what we will do in the next 3 weeks. So after this is everything about academic writing, the different styles of writing that you can apply, and yes, you will see the example of each essay, each type of essay as your homework, and the weeks follow. And technically the rest of the time, what we feel focusing on would be these things. Yes, I actually gonna talk about like title page, how it's gonna be, how it's gonna look like in the acknowledgement. So everything that will be included in your thesis or thematic paper or independent studies. Normally these are the things that you often gonna have to do it. The organization of your thesis gonna be like starting from title page, acknowledgement page, abstracts. For those who write your thesis in Thai, gonna be Thai abstract and English abstract. For those who write your thesis in English only, it just be English abstracts you can choose. And next one, list of contents, list of figures, list of tables. The main text is going to be this. So this one is easy. The hard one is be this. I divide the information, the chapter into 6. However, some programs, some of you might end up with 5 because they combine results and discussion together, or maybe combine something together, so possible. Some of you might have more than 6. Why you have more than 6? Possibly because you have a lot of detail to talk about. Or some people divide the results into 2 chapters because it's easier to present your information. So the university itself, Mahidol, it's ourselves, we did not, enforce that you have to have 6, 5. We did not limit the number of chapters. You can have 5 chapters, 6 chapters, 10 chapters. But normally it's kind of depend on the nature of your research. Some program have 8. I've seen 8 before. Some have 6. Not, I think most probably have 6. But this is something, this is like kind of the number of chapters depend on your research and your program styles of writing the research. But let's say mainly what I gonna go through is that I'm gonna go through the main things that most of you gonna have to do it, which is the introductions, what would be in the intro, what you have to write in the intro, then literature review, methodology, results, findings, and then the 5th chapters would be the discussions, how to write, what words, what this, what that, how to structure, and last one, conclusions. And yes, I do go through the abstract as well. And the 6th chapter can be that. And last but not least, yes, we're going to talk about reference and citation. So, reference page or the social science call bibliography, but I think the science call reference. So either all, same name, do the different name, doing the same jobs. Reference or bibliography. Appendix, what to include, how to include. Last but not least, biography, your details. We are going to go through this for the rest of the 3 weeks. And this is just a short review of what to be included, just a short description for you, what you're going to see, what you're going to do in each chapters. Anybody have any questions? Anybody have any questions? Last but not least, I do have assignment. This is the one that need to be submitted to my email. So first assignment 1, the due date. Due date is the submission date. Gonna be Sunday. Yeah, so share again. Okay, Sunday, 11th January this year. Anytime on the Sunday, the due date, it means that you can submit on the 11th or before the 11th. That's up to you. If you finish before time, yes, you can submit before 11th. Please submit the work before 11th. Before, it can be 11:95, it's okay, but before 11th, or not, I mean, like, before, not late. Thank God, thank you. And for this, based on structure you have learned before, since the time is super short, so I do the short version work to make it short, is that I'm probably not going to ask you to write the essay, but what I want you to do is that based on the provide essay, so I do provide the question as well to help you understand the questions and the essay itself. This is the essay itself. What I want you to do is similar to what you have done in your take-home homework, is that based on this thing, please identify, highlight the thesis statement, and within the thesis statement, highlight the topic, highlight the controlling ideas. Based on each body paragraph, highlight the topic and the main idea. And for the conclusions, please identify the one that shows summary and which one shows final comments. I did not add the color because so you can decide the color by yourself. So technically, like, okay, I'm gonna do thesis statement in yellow. So you can just like, and then thesis statement, yeah. So I will share the files in PDF form as well. So if some of you can do it in iPad, GoodNotes, so you can choose the color by yourself. When I give you the color, some people like the color is not the same, so it feels at the end of the day. So there are 6 in total, 6 essays, and each one is just list the thing that you need to highlight below. I did not add the color again. You decide the color. Whatever color you want. I don't mind. Just, do it as well. So 6 essay for you to identify the for you to identify each section. It looks weird. Yes, you need to submit this in the submit this as the submit it to my email account. This would be assignment 1. So, anybody have any questions? Uh, 11. Anybody have any questions? That would be your first homework. And on Monday, I will go through it together with you. So in order to explain, because I think this is one of the confusing homework. Yeah, possible. So please submit your homework by Sunday, Thailand time. And we will go through it together on Monday. If you have any questions, along the way, if you have questions when you do your homework, you can type your questions in the email as well. It's okay. So I can do all the explanation on that day for you as well. Anybody have any questions? We're not gonna have class tomorrow. Tomorrow's gonna be assignment day. So we're gonna see each other again on Monday. Yay. And on the Monday, we will start with the new section, which is the new detail, new informations, which is gonna be chapter 1, the introductions. I will send the work tonight. Probably maybe I share the homework in the live group as well, just in case if someone you just want to do it now. And I will also attach the slides for next week, all the slides for next week for you in the email as well. So don't forget to check. I already upload the lectures, everything like yesterday, today, and will be tonight as well to the, not yet for tonight. In the link, if you cannot access it, please let me know so I can fix it.